Are you thinking about visiting Rome? Let's dive into one of the most iconic and fascinating monuments of this city, the Colosseum. This majestic amphitheater is a true architectural marvel and a testament to the grandeur of the Roman Empire. Let's explore its history, construction, uses, and some interesting facts you probably didn't know. Let's get started. History of the Colosseum. The Colosseum, known in antiquity as the Flavian Amphitheater, was a monumental work that began under the rule of Emperor Vespasian in 72 AD. Vespasian decided to build this colossal amphitheater in the heart of Rome, right where Emperor Nero had built his lavish residence, the Domus Aurea, including an artificial lake. This act symbolized the return of the land to the Roman people and the restoration of order after Nero's excesses. The construction of the Colosseum was a colossal undertaking that involved tens of thousands of slaves, many of whom were Jewish prisoners of war after the revolt in Judea. The project was partially funded by the war booty brought from the conquest of Jerusalem in 70 AD. The amphitheater was completed in 80 AD, during the reign of Vespasian's son, Emperor Titus, who inaugurated the Colosseum with games that lasted 100 days. During these inaugural spectacles, it is estimated that more than 5,000 animals were sacrificed, and gladiators fought to the death for the spectators' delight. The Colosseum became the epicenter of Roman entertainment. In the 19th century, significant archaeological excavations were carried out, and in the 20th century, more systematic restoration projects were implemented. The Colosseum was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980, and in 2007, it was named one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Today, the Colosseum remains one of the most visited monuments in the world, attracting millions of tourists each year. Visitors can explore its upper levels, where Roman plebeians once sat, and descend to the hypogeum, the intricate underground area where gladiators were prepared and animals were kept before the shows. The Colosseum is an enduring symbol of Roman engineering, the complexity of its society, and the brutality and splendor of its entertainment culture. Additionally, it continues to be a reminder of the impermanence of empires and the lasting influence of Roman history on modern culture. Architecture of the Colosseum. The Colosseum has an oval shape with colossal dimensions, approximately 189 meters long, 156 meters wide, and 50 meters high. Its capacity is estimated to be between 50,000 and 80,000 spectators, distributed over several levels of seating that reflected the Roman social hierarchy. The seats closest to the arena were reserved for senators and other dignitaries, while the plebeians occupied the upper levels. The construction of the Colosseum employed various types of materials, selected for their availability and specific characteristics. Travertine, a hard limestone used primarily for the exterior facade and main support structures. Volcanic tuff, a lighter volcanic rock used in the secondary walls. Brick and Roman concrete, fundamental materials for the arches and vaults that supported the stands. Regarding the exterior design, the facade of the Colosseum is a masterpiece of classical architecture, with 3 levels of superimposed arches and a 4th level of rectangular windows. Each level of arches is decorated with columns of different orders. First level, Doric order columns. Second level, Ionic order columns. Third level, Corinthian order columns. The 4th level, known as the attic, was decorated with Corinthian pilasters and alternated rectangular windows with decorative panels. Beneath the Colosseum's arena lies the hypogeum, an intricate labyrinth of tunnels and underground chambers. This area was not part of the original design. It was added by Emperor Domitian, Titus's brother and successor. The hypogeum housed gladiators, animals, and equipment needed for the shows. It featured a series of passages, cages, and elevators that allowed animals and combatants to be quickly and dramatically transported to the arena. The construction of the Colosseum began with site preparation and the laying of deep, solid foundations. To achieve the necessary stability in Rome's soil, deep trenches were excavated and filled with Roman concrete, a mixture of stone, sand, lime, and water that became extremely hard when dry. One of the most notable features of the Colosseum is its extensive use of arches and vaults. These architectural elements are not only aesthetically pleasing but also provide great structural strength and flexibility. The arches allow for the even distribution of the structure's weight, while the vaults help support the upper levels and create large open spaces. The Colosseum was designed with impressive efficiency in terms of crowd circulation. It had 80 entrances, known as vomitoria, which allowed spectators to quickly enter and exit the amphitheater. This design was so effective that the Colosseum could be evacuated in minutes, even when filled to its maximum capacity. The Colosseum was also equipped with a system of awnings, known as the velarium, which protected spectators from the sun and rain. This system consisted of a series of masts around the amphitheater and a large canvas that could be deployed and retracted as needed. The velarium was operated by a specialized unit of sailors from the Roman fleet, highlighting the complexity and organization of this ancient mechanism. The Colosseum was not only a structural marvel, but also an example of Roman elegance and art. The facade was adorned with marble statues, and the interior corridors featured detailed frescoes and mosaics. The arches were decorated with reliefs depicting scenes from the shows and Roman life, while the senators' seats were engraved with inscriptions indicating their names and titles. Uses and shows. The gladiatorial games, or munera, were one of the most popular and anticipated spectacles in the Colosseum. These combats had their roots in Etruscan funeral rituals, where warriors fought to the death to honor the deceased. Over time, these rituals became public mass entertainment events. There were different types of gladiators, each with their own combat style and weaponry. The Colosseum's arena, covered with sand to absorb the spilled blood, was the stage for these brutal fights. The gladiators trained in specialized schools, and although many were slaves or prisoners of war, some were free men seeking fame and fortune. The combats did not always end with the death of one of the fighters. Sometimes, the decision of life or death was in the hands of the emperor or the public, who could grant mercy by raising their thumbs. Another popular type of show in the Colosseum was the venations, or animal hunts. These events showcased the hunter's skill and the beast's ferocity and were a way to demonstrate Rome's dominance over nature and its conquered territories. The animals used in the venations came from all over the empire and beyond, including lions, tigers, elephants, bears, hippopotamuses, rhinoceroses, and crocodiles. These animals were captured and transported to Rome, where they were kept in cages before being released into the arena. The venators, or hunters, were trained professionals who faced the beasts in the arena. These shows often included elaborate sets and scenery that recreated natural landscapes. The hunters used spears, bows, and other weapons to fight and kill the animals, providing an exciting and often bloody spectacle for the audience. The naumachii were recreations of naval battles that required flooding the Colosseum's arena. This was achieved through a complex system of channels and pumps that allowed the arena to be filled with water. These battles were representations of famous Roman naval victories and offered an impressive show. The naumachii involved numerous participants, often prisoners of war, who fought in real ships or replicas. Spectators could watch from the stands as the ships engaged in aquatic combat, with all the spectacularity of maritime battles. The Colosseum was also the site of public executions, often carried out during the intermission of the games. The condemned were executed in various ways, including crucifixion, being devoured by wild animals, or forced combat to the death. These acts served as a warning and reminder of the power of Roman law. Sometimes, the Colosseum was used to stage mythological dramas and theatrical performances. These representations often involved elaborate sets and special effects. For example, stories from mythology were recreated where characters performed heroic feats or suffered tragic fates, using actors and animals to bring the myths to life. With the advent of Christianity and the fall of the Roman Empire, the bloody spectacles of the Colosseum began to be viewed with disfavor. In the 5th century AD, gladiatorial combat was banned by Emperor Honorius, and although the venations continued for a time, their frequency and importance gradually diminished. Deterioration and conservation. The Colosseum has suffered several devastating earthquakes throughout its history, causing significant structural damage. Additionally, after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Colosseum was subjected to looting and vandalism. Its construction materials, especially marble and stone, were reused in numerous buildings and churches in Rome. During the Middle Ages, the Colosseum served as a quarry, and many of its valuable stones were extracted and repurposed. During the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the Colosseum had several secondary uses that contributed to its deterioration, such as, in the 12th century, the Frangipani family fortified the Colosseum and used it as a castle, resulting in modifications and damage to its original structure. In later periods, the amphitheater became an improvised neighborhood, with homes and workshops set up inside. The first conservation efforts for the Colosseum began in the 18th century. Pope Benedict XIV, recognizing its historical and cultural value, declared it a sacred site in 1749. It was incorrectly believed that numerous Christian martyrs had been executed in the Colosseum. This declaration helped stop the looting and misuse of the monument. Throughout the 19th century, several significant restoration projects were undertaken to prevent the total collapse of the Colosseum. The 20th century saw a series of restorations and archaeological studies that helped preserve and restore the Colosseum. Restoration work on the exterior facade was carried out to repair and consolidate damaged stones. The complex underground system of the hypogeum was excavated and studied, revealing details about the amphitheater's internal functioning during spectacles. Modern conservation techniques, including the use of cement and other materials, were implemented to stabilize the structure. In recent decades, there have been a series of significant conservation projects. The Colosseum faces several ongoing challenges, including air pollution, vibrations from nearby traffic, and the high volume of visitors. To mitigate these problems, new strategies and technologies are being developed. Measures are being implemented to reduce the Colosseum's exposure to air pollution, including reducing vehicular traffic in nearby areas. Plans are being designed to manage the flow of tourists, limiting the number of simultaneous visitors and improving security facilities. Archaeological and architectural studies continue to deepen the understanding of the Colosseum and its history. Additionally, public education about the importance of cultural heritage conservation is being promoted. Fun facts. 1. The original name of the Colosseum is Flavian Amphitheater, in honor of the Flavian dynasty that built it. The name Colosseum comes from a massive bronze statue called the Colossus of Nero that stood near the amphitheater. This statue represented Emperor Nero and was later modified to represent the sun god. 2. The Colosseum was built in a record time of approximately 8 years. Construction began in 72 AD under Emperor Vespasian and was completed in 80 AD by his son Titus. For the time, this speed in constructing such a massive structure is truly impressive. 3. Beneath the Colosseum's arena lies the hypogeum, an intricate maze of tunnels and underground chambers. This area housed gladiators, animals, and the equipment needed for the spectacles. It featured a series of passages, cages, and elevators that allowed animals and fighters to be transported to the arena quickly and dramatically. 4. The elliptical shape of the Colosseum not only facilitated visibility, but also improved acoustics, allowing sounds to be amplified and reach every corner of the amphitheater. This feature ensured that spectators could hear the roars of animals, the clash of weapons, and the shouts of gladiators. 5. Some gladiators of the Colosseum became celebrities in ancient Rome. For example, Spartacus, although more famous for his rebellion against Rome, was also a gladiator who fought in the Colosseum. Successful gladiators could gain fame and fortune and, in rare cases, their freedom. 6. The Colosseum has served as an inspiration for numerous modern arenas and stadiums due to its efficient design and capacity to host large crowds. Additionally, it remains a powerful symbol of Rome and is used in cultural and ceremonial events, such as the Via Crucis led by the Pope every Good Friday. 7. In recent years, the Colosseum has been illuminated in different colors to commemorate special events and promote social causes. For example, it is lit up in white whenever a death sentence is commuted or a country abolishes the death penalty, becoming a symbol of peace and justice in the modern world. The Colosseum in Rome is not only an architectural marvel, but also a living testament to the history and culture of the Roman Empire. Its grandeur and its ability to attract millions of visitors each year demonstrate its enduring importance. So, if you ever travel to Rome, be sure to include the Colosseum in your itinerary and marvel at one of humanity's most impressive legacies. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time on Koala Planet. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your travel-loving friends. Until the next adventure.